how I'm not the best with Google Meet. So I'm just trying to figure out how to get the screen shared. Does anybody know how to like share?
So in the right hand corner on the bottom is a present now button, and it'll give you the options for the sharing the desktop, the whole desktop, or just a window or a tab if you're using Chrome.
Okay. But what is like, where do I find it? Good.
Nice to see you.
It is good to see you, James. It is good to see you. All right. Well, I have a cool intro slide, guys. And I'm not seeing how to put it up. So I do know that we wanted to start with introductions. And I don't know if everyone here already knows each other, but I don't know everyone here and would love to kind of hear it. And what we have for that is just introduce yourself with your name. What is like your role in the Park Hill community? And however you want to define that. And then what would you like to get out of this training session, but also kind of the overall, knowing that this is the first one.
Should we go in order of the one of our lists on here?
Sure.
Cool. And I'll just go ahead and go first while we're pulling up a list.
How about you not pull up a list, James, and how about you just go and then call on the next person?
Deal. Boom.
Okay.
Samantha coming through with the ideas. Yeah, my name's James Roy. I'm the executive director of Denver Metro Community Impact, which has recently changed from Park Hill Collective Impact. And what I want to get out of today, I'm not actually going to be able to stay much longer. I got another meeting I got to jump back into, but I wanted to say that this is awesome to see so many faces. You know, in this time that we're facing such a interesting dynamic, a continued dynamic, of course, as we all know, because we're all in this work. And to keep hope alive and keep the motivation and momentum towards progress is something that I'm really, really excited about seeing here. And so seeing all, just a bunch of dedicated people that want to, change the world is always something that fills my heart up. So that's what I'm happy about and looking forward to. Oh, I'm supposed to come somebody else. My bad. I'll go with, since Simone picked on me. Simone, you're next.
You're ruthless. Hello, everybody. I'm Simone. I know about half of you. My role in the Park Hill community, I used to work at Roots Elementary, which is now closed, as a family engagement liaison. I still, well, aside from the pandemic changes, I still serve on the Park Hill Strong Community Board. My children attend the Vickers Boys and Girls Club, and we also go to the library and rec center over there. What I would like to get out of this training session is everything that we have to offer you guys today, and get a strong community that is ready to share the information and create a change. I will go with Kevin next.
Thank you, Simone. My name is Kevin Geiger. I live here in Park Hill. I've lived here for about 9 years. And I know Gigi and Simone through attending the Hills Church here in Park Hill. We meet over in the Dahlia Center for Health and Wellbeing when it's open, which hasn't been since March or April timeframe, and we're not sure when we're going to get back in there. But I have also been involved with Cross Purpose, And my most recent involvement there, I've been an ally over there for their job development program, but I've also taught a Dave Ramsey financial peace course. Is my most recent involvement over there.
Nice.
So that's my take, and I've always been good with numbers, but I don't work in that industry.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, my family on my mom's side sent that book to me about 10 years ago, and they said, read this.
Hopefully you listened.
I did.
Yeah, good. Oh, do I get to pick the next one? Okay. How about Joanne?
Hello, yeah. I'm Joanne McLean, Financial Health Institute. And I'm not sure about a role in the Park Hill community, but we have an office space at the Clayton Early Learning Campus that I think I have seen once since March at this point. And we still have the space. Do a lot of work with Cross Purpose, since you mentioned that's a wonderful organization. Right at the moment, we're piloting a exploring home ownership, and we also threw an auto purchase in their program. So for people that are interested in becoming homeowners at some point in time. So I have a lot of fun with that. It's a great group. Going back into way back in time. I grew up at Mount View Presbyterian Church, and I mean that kind of literally, because like, yeah, I was there all the time, it felt like. And that's where I got married to. And I've always loved Park Hill. So enjoyed coming back to be on the Clayton campus and meeting with folks, and just love the idea of being with you guys all today too. So welcome. What do you want to get out of this? I want to learn from you guys. And I want to see where we're going to take this, because I think this is going to be great. And Amber, I saw your name just pop up, so okay, you're next.
Sure. Hi, my name's Amber Owens. I actually grew up in Park Hill. So my parents still live in Park Hill, and I live in Park Hill, so we're going on 40 years. So I am a resident. I also work in Park Hill. I am the resource navigator for Hope Community. We're located directly across the street from the Dahlia Center. So that's my ties to Park Hill. As far as what I'd like to get out of this, I just love taking in information. I really do believe that the more information you have, the better. And so if this is something that I can take and utilize not only for myself, but my residents and the rest of our community, I say that's it. That's the goal. Thank you. Okay, just because your name popped up, Denzel.
Oh, you're gonna make me go next, huh? All right.
I am sorry.
Good deal. So my name is Benzel Jimerson. I'm the principal of Diversity Dynamics Consulting, which is the founders also of Metro Deep, who's presenting with Financial Health Institute today. And how I'm a member of the Park Hill community is, I don't know if any of you all know Horace Kearney, or Coach Kearney is well known by, but that's my pops. And so I grew up in, playing against Chauncey in there, and, on the corner in Capri Chicken, and Tom's when it was there, and didn't go to school there. I was with my mom most of the time, but I spent most of my summers there. And now I lived there for years. When I came back to Denver in 2000, and my son plays there for the Pirates. We just had to cancel our season, however. That sucked. We'll talk about that a little bit. And so Park Hill is just, it's always been very, very, very close to my heart. And I would echo Joanne, and what I want to get out of this is really to learn from you all. Let's go with Kareem.
Hi, can you guys hear me? Cool. Sorry, I was talking earlier and I didn't realize I was muted. So, my name is Kareem Reed. I sort of came back to Colorado in 2016, and then I've been living around the metro area. But I moved here to Park Hill back a year ago. Yeah. So that's been my experience here, and I'm actually a student at DU, and I guess that kind of ties into my whole what I want to get out of this, because I was talking to Daniel saying how I had a friend who actually hit me up because I'm a finance major, and she's just like, hey, can we talk about finances? And so we were talking the other day, and it was nice just to like get that basic information out, because they don't really teach you this stuff unless you're majoring in college, and it's really helpful when you have, you know, like basic financial skills. And so whenever I get the chance, I just try to tell my friends in my community. So I'm happy. I'm really, really happy about this opportunity, because it's like I can get even more information and just continue to spread that and help people and help myself. So, and I think Danny Martinez.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Hope all is well with you and your family. Danny Martinez, President, CEO of Apex Business Consulting. I am part of the Train the Trainer initiative, so I'll be doing the training portion of this whole module 3 would be my module that I'll be training on. I have lived in Park Hill back in 99 and 2000. I'm a Colorado native, born and raised. So if anything uplifts Colorado, that's what I'm all for. And I'm really here just to learn a little bit more about the whole platform, what this is going to look at like. So when it comes to my time to present here in October, I'll have all the tools and the resources available, and we'll be able to do a good presentation in Module 3. So again, it's good to see everybody, good to see a diverse group, and I look forward to having a successful Module 1, 2, and 3. Thank you. And I guess the next person would be Sarah.
Hey, can people hear me? Okay, great. My name is Sarah Krantz, and I work with an organization called Heart and Hand Center, and we do out of school time programming for elementary students all the way up for 2 years into college and after college. And we operate in Northeast Denver, so we run programs out of Columbine Elementary and Smith Elementary, and also Bruce Middle School. And so I think something that I'd like to get out of this is, like some people have said, learning to hear what you all have as a sort of larger vision for this kind of knowledge being disseminated, but also figuring out ways to introduce even the concept of financial literacy or finances in general to younger kids. And I know that, you know, concepts of money can be difficult and abstract, but I think, you know, even bumping into it at a young age sets up a platform for people to have some literacy and be more in control of their lives, myself included, when they, you know, have more than, you know, $5.
Maybe call the next person.
Oh, that's right. Gigi, have you gone?
So my name is Gigi, and I have many roles, I guess, in Park Hill. I'm a mother. You'll probably hear my kids in the background. I live off of the tiny street of Thrill. I am also kind of an educator and I am a business owner. I left the nonprofit sector a few years back after I had my fourth child, and then I started my own coaching practice. I love Financial Health Institute, so that's kind of what drew me here. I'm very familiar with what they do and really just enjoy those people. What would I like to get out of this training is I am an avid learner, so new opportunities to learn, I am all for it. Anything that would help me and the community and people that I'm working with, I'm all over it. And so I don't know who has, I can't really see everybody.
It's like Deidre. Yeah.
Oh.
Can you guys, that's a quick question for me. Are you guys only able to see the presentation screen, or can you see
the
like
presentation and some names?
Okay. Yeah, I see Deidre.
There's a participants button that you can push that I think you can see everyone and scroll up and down.
Sure.
Well,
You
Deidre.
can see the names that way. Yeah. And then there's a chat function you can do in there if you want to.
All right, Deidre.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I'm driving. I just got off of work and it took me a second to log in. So what were the questions again? Because I wasn't really able to see them.
No worries. So your connection to, like, how you're connected to Park Hill, what you want to get out of the training, and then who you are, your name, or start with your name.
Okay, so my name is Deidre Jones. I go to church in Park Hill still. Two of my children, we have split custody. They live in Park Hill, so I have a lot of friends and family out there still. And I'm planning to get out of this whatever type of financial information I can. I work with helping people with credit repair and anything finance. I like to look into that right now. I'm working in collections with medical debts, and so I help a lot of people with those, getting those off their credit reports because they're not supposed to be reported anymore. So I'm trying to learn anything that I can financially to help people.
Absolutely. Right on. Who has not gone yet? I'm trying to, I see the participants button.
Veronica. Did I pronounce that right? Arlene?
Yeah. Veronica?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Arthur.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So my name is Arleth Flores. I'm a graduate of the class of 2020. I'm just now getting into college. I'm going into the Community College of Denver. I live in the Park Hill community. And what I would like to get out of this training session is for like advice or like some kind of information that could help me in the future, as you know, as I'm going into, I guess, adulthood. So I'm really excited and I'm ready to, you know, get some good information.
Very cool.
Thank you. And Veronica.
Veronica, are you able to hear us? Okay. Yeah, she may not be able to hear us. Oh, there she is. You're just on mute.
Yeah. Okay. So my name is Veronica. I work Holguin. I work with Love Light Neighbor, and that's how I kind of got introduced to the Park Hill Collaborative here. Now I Denver Metro, I believe. And what I'm looking to get out of this is just information. I've been in the finance industry for a while and looking to see what's out there that's new, and how to help other people, because I work with a lot of nonprofit organizations who are looking to empower minorities and help them get into either homes or start saving and that kind of stuff.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, thank you all for being here. And I'm gonna kind of move through a little bit, like just kind of a real quick context setting.
Yes. Sorry, I don't think I said hi to everybody except for when you just.
I apologize. Please go ahead. Yes, Daniel.
You're fine. Everybody here probably knows me. I've talked to you all on the phone or through Zoom or something like that. I'm Daniel Archuleta. I'm the Associate Director at Denver Metro Community Impact. I am so humbled by your willingness, hopeless, excitement, and enthusiasm to be here. This really came from the community. It came from our Park Hill Talks, saying that this is something that the community is wanting to see and to have. And this is just the fruition of a lot of work by our Action Committee, who are people involved in our community. And what I'm trying to get out of this is exactly what Benzel said, exactly what Joanne said. I want to learn from all of you. So you might see me close down my video just to do some things off the scenes. We are missing one attendee, so I'll reach out to that person to see what's going on. All of you should have received an email about 10 minutes before this meeting, and it contained a link to the survey, the end of session survey. Please use that after this. It's about 10 questions or so, just to tell us your level of satisfaction. And then we'll be taking that again every single one of the sessions. I'll be here, or at least I'll try to be here for every single one of the sessions, taking attendance. And just for the presenters who are here, Benzel, we might actually get a few more people to come in between now and next week. And I'll make sure they see the FYI, all of this is being recorded. Thank you all. That's it for me.
Good deal. Thank you, Daniel. And then we do have a little part for you at the end that we gave you as well. And maybe Danny would be able to talk about it as well. Danny's very smart because we didn't know exactly what to expect, exactly who was going to show up and be here. So it's beautiful to see all your faces. It is beautiful to see the diversity and just what's here. And so we hope here we go on the first journey, first ride. So from here, we just wanted to, like, we're thinking a little bit, and something that really came up for us is that, like, having a few foundations. Next week, we're going to be talking a little bit about historic trauma and relationship to money, especially in communities of color, and we'll go through. So we'll go through a little bit of that just before we leave. But also some foundation setting in terms of, like, really what's happening in Park Hill. And this is not a doom and gloom piece, but I mean, we do know that it's a very active community in terms of gangs, drugs, broken homes, education system that is in many ways failed our children, violence created at the roots from things such as racism and family issues and the justice system, health, poverty, all of these different things. And one of the reasons that we chose this particular slide was just because it names in several different places how this economic opportunity piece. And so all of these issues being interconnected. And so if we're not really looking from that perspective of a holistic view, it makes it really hard just to zero down into how do we introduce and how do we make economics connect to the rest of everything that people are dealing with. This is also happening, with the backdrop and the context of I love what was that, I think Arlit, who said like the things that are, I can't remember who said, but I have it down here. Maybe Amber, but like they don't teach these things, right, in school. They didn't teach you about taxes, about budgets, about how voting and political kind of issues are all connected to this. And so there's like so many people, unless you're working inside of the industry or you're having these conversations around dinner tables, really don't have a whole lot of background. We're looking, at a background of America getting as close to, with even the wealth that we have in it, to a third world country that we've seen in the history of the country, is many people during this COVID time. As the stock market dropped, and people who had money and were able to pay while other people were losing jobs. We're seeing even a larger spike there in that top 11% and 1% for certain. We have COVID happening. We have the reclamation of racial dignity that is happening all around the country, and certainly here in Denver in so many ways. And so just many things that are happening in the backdrop of this particular conversation. Also, and we will name that we are going to be sharing much of this with you all. Or we're going to share all of these slides and all that kind of stuff with you all, and the information that's in here. And so we thought, research and having data and being able to understand what's actually going on is important. And I don't know if you guys are able to see this particular report. Did it change from the slide?
The homeownership by race is what I see.
It's just the slide, so it's not scrolling a web page.
We see I see the research on the economic wealth gap on the left.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
the slide you have only shared
okay. Yeah, I don't know how to, but this first one, there's like a really in-depth report that goes through everything from home ownership to unemployment, poverty, housing. There's all kinds of data from the Colorado Health Foundation, several other good pieces. There's another, this is just kind of an outward piece of research, but I wanted to name it because I really like this particular piece of information, and just saying the best solutions for alleviating poverty, if not eradicating it, will involve collaborations amongst institutions that can address poverty in many different ways. And so one example of that happening right here in our community, in an organization that very well supports, that's kind of considered an anchor institution or a larger nonprofit, so they've gotten together with the Colorado Coalition for the Homeless, starting work with the Mental Health Corporation of Denver, MHCD, and some faith-based organizations from across different races, people addressing, I'm trying to just remember through the list, but it's larger kind of the hospitals, so anchor institutions in a lot of different ways, and saying, how can we, if we're all communicating with each other better, and we're all really in business to alleviate a root cause, right? So, hunger being something that's at a root cause of people being able to even think about finances. You can't think about finances if you're trying to think about where your next meal is coming from, where you're going to sleep that night, how you're going to take care of your health, any of those kinds of things. And so how do larger organizations be able to come together? So this was a good piece of research that supported that. And then a great organization that's moving some of that work forward. That also is a great place to help alleviate some of that. They don't require IDs or documents or any of that kind of thing. You just set an appointment and you can go get food, fresh food, vegetables, fruits, all of that. and then a couple of others that I wanted Joanne to just kind of share with us that are really good data points.
So the Colorado Center on Law and Policy has a wonderful website with a lot of really good information on it. And you can also sign up for their email newsletters. They have a focus, which kind of guess, yeah, law and policy. They have a focus on how legislation affects us and how we affect legislation. So every year, in preparation for the legislative season, which starts in January and does not last all that long in this state, they put together some of what they see as their primary focuses. And there are always things that have to do with economic stability, economic growth, working to provide supports for those that are at the lowest income levels. So they deal with legislative issues on homelessness, on benefits, on minimum wage, all sorts of things. So good people. And the Colorado Fiscal Institute, they're an amazing site for finding data on anything and having some great interpretations of the data that you get. So if you want to learn more about how these pieces fit together, like what Benzel was talking about, this is a multifaceted, ecological sort of a situation concern, and everything fits together. So finding the data to support all the different pieces is very important.
Yeah, and data is really helping us to tell the story in different ways, and even to help make sense of like how all of those parts fit together. And I love, Joanne, that you brought in policy, because in order to really change things in a long term, it's going to require, I think there's many ways that the community can come together and create their own solutions. Families can come together and create their own solutions. At the same time, policy is this critical piece in ensuring that long-term and sustainable change, because we shouldn't have to work 2 and 3 and 4 times harder because of our zip code or because of the color of our skin or whatever else. And so policy being a huge part of that. And then, just beyond that, there really are solutions, right? And I think it's really all of you that are the largest piece of that solution. I think that Park Hill Collective Impact is a huge piece of that solution, and being able to bring this training to you. So I wanted to make sure that we recognize them inside of that. But when we really get together, we get information, and it's coming from the people that are closest to the ground, closest to us, that have an intimate understanding of what's happening inside of our communities. Again, it really boils down to you all, is this being kind of like a train the trainer model. And then we get that information out to the people that we're most closely connected to. Truly, I believe that mountains can be moved in that way. And it is the largest thing that has changed anything in our country since its beginning. And so the power of people. So like a super fast, just because we are running, we spent a little bit more time in introductions, and we'll be with you all for a little bit for the next 5 sessions. And so we'll be able to share a little bit more about who we are. But Metro Deep is really about creating ownership of our economy. And so the DEEP stands for the Metro Denver Economic Equity Project, and an initiative that Diversity Dynamics again founded to really create unity around economic development projects that improve the health of the Denver Metro African American community, or African descended community, really, by creating a lasting ecosystem of Black economic empowerment. And so, we do focus inside of the African American community, or the African descended community specifically, only because it is the one most often furthest behind, and with the least sense of like having an infrastructure that is available for things to really move forward in a meaningful way, to be able to kind of cross bridges between organizations, bring in different partners working on different things throughout the community. So we have deep relationships with just about everyone that's inside of this economic development space throughout the community, and are deepening those. And have several other programs that we'll be able to share with you all later, from an entrepreneurship pipeline, where we have absolute funding at the end of that 8-week session, which Simone runs for us. We've developed a curriculum that we're getting ready to kick off here at the end of August. So if there are any families or friend groups that you know of, about 4 or 5, that might be really interested in a weekend at the Native Hotel, please let us know, and we can get them plugged into that pilot group that's helping to kick that curriculum off. You guys will get small pieces of that. And also you'll see that Diverge Central logo there, which is a platform. It's kind of like a Facebook 3.0 locally owned, that really has a focus with a lot of tools, and again, something that we'll go over as we are with you guys in the future. And then Quan Atlas is part of our team, as well as Simone. And again, most of the organizations working inside of the individual space we are connected to in some way, or they're involved in one of those programs. And last thing I would say there is that, you know, part of what we hope for is that by hyper-focusing on the African descended community, we might be able to share information on what it looks like to build an infrastructure around a particular ethnicity with all other groups, because it truly is, we want to see all of Colorado rise. Just know where the gap is. Joanne?
Thank you. So yeah, I'm part of Financial Health Institute, and our focus is on providing education on finances and economics, with a recognition that it's not just money. You know, money is just a piece of it. Money fits within the whole context of everything else that goes on in our life. So we look at economic resources more so, and we look at personal economics as all of the assets that you have in your life that come in and go out of your life, including your friends and family, environment, community, including your education, your life skills. Everything is part of your economic base, your assets that support the finances that are your income coming in and going out. So we have a behavioral sciences approach to it, because recognize that financial literacy is wonderful stuff, but yeah, if it were just as simple as saying, okay, here's a budget and here's how you do it, or do your debt snowball, whatever, if it were that simple, then everybody would be doing it. Information's out there, it's always been out there. And yeah, I love Dave Ramsey for a lot of what he does too. But I think we take a broader, deeper, more mental health, psychological, and neuroscience approach to it, as well as behavioral economics, which is a load of fun too. So, and I use the word fun in terms of economics, if you notice this. So I think it's fun. So it's a dynamic relationship, all of these pieces. And we do a range of services. As Gigi said, yeah, we, she helped us pilot a series of online courses in our Human Services Financial Health Professional program. We also have, that's a large part of what I do, is create online courses. So if anybody's interested, I'd be more than happy to get you in, no cost, to at least some of our online courses, because I love sharing it. So if you want to contact me outside of this space, I'm happy to do that, or answer questions about what we do, everything we do, issues related to economic trauma, which we're going to talk more about later in this course. And somebody mentioned kids. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, working with kids and helping them understand finances and economics as well. So yeah, a lot of good stuff going on here, and that's us. Go ahead, Benson.
Very cool. Thank you. I love that you added fun there. So we're gonna do a super abbreviated version of this for you all, and probably the largest part is going to be you all just kind of taking some time and going through these questions. The reason that we use them, and so this is actually like really the core of what we wanted you all to take away from today, which is really like the beginning. I heard several people kind of talk about, you know, like how do we actually start this conversation? How do we bring it to where it's meaningful and people want to dive into this conversation around numbers, around understanding them, how they impact our lives, and all of that. And so so those three questions are like, what are your dreams for yourself? What are your dreams for your family? And what are your dreams for your community? The reason that these are important questions and really become foundational is that when people answer those, and when you connect like your personal, your familial, as well as the immediate community surrounding you, to whatever goal setting that you might do in order to reach economic mobility or reach, you know, an overall well-being, you have this incredible opportunity as you're working with people, as you're sharing information, to one, create a relationship with them. When you take the time out to ask people about these things, it almost immediately connects you. And so you do have to be careful with that in some ways, because there is a follow-up necessary with that. However, when we do that, it really just connects us. One thing I heard, I was speaking at the Aspen Institute one year, and one of my speaking partners said something that stayed with me forever, which is the shortest distance between two people is a story. And so this is it's a really great way to do that. So what we're going to ask is that you take 5 minutes and just answer these questions for yourselves. We'd like for you to record that somehow, whether it be in the chat, whether it be on a piece of paper, on your computer, but just taking 5 minutes to answer these questions for yourself, please. Yes. Did it go back?
Yes. Thank you.
Feel free to turn off your screen if that's helpful to you, or anything that makes you comfortable in the space.
If there's anybody who wants to share, maybe answer one of those questions out loud and share with the group, feel free to do so as well.
And we will right at the end, so that's thinking about, but just taking that time to be able to kind of reflect on that for yourself. All right. So maybe if we start wrapping up that thought, and if we have anyone who is willing to share, typically we would do this in small groups where we'd have some reflection time, and then we would have all right, so we'd have like the personal reflection time, then we'd break into small groups, have people really kind of share in depth what that means to each other, and then break into report out. But again, just so we can honor everyone's time, we're shortening and giving that version of it, especially because you all are trainers and you're in this space. So, so if you could, is there anyone who's willing to share? What are your dreams for yourself, your family, and your community? I'll call on people next.
So I'll go ahead.
I'll go.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
No, you can go.
Hi, I'm Amber. So my dreams for myself, first off, taking care of my children. I have 2 girls, 14 and 6, and making certain that they have the best opportunities as far as education is concerned. Second off, I am a big proponent of home ownership. I am closing on my first home next week, and I am super, super excited and happy about that. And it took a long time to get here, but I'm there. So, you know, it's a good thing. And thirdly, as far as my community is concerned, since I live and work in this community, you know, I see the gaps. I see the gaps throughout the community, and my dream is to just become a liaison between, you know, my residents, my clients, the community members, and those resources and those opportunities that are out there, but, you know, not well known. Okay.
Thank you so much, Amber. Maybe one other person.
I think Veronica was going to talk, right?
Veronica?
Yeah, sorry, my computer is running a little bit slow. It's lagging. Yeah, so the dreams for myself is just basically security and being able to know that I'm not leaving anything for family to take care of when I'm gone, that they'll be able to pursue whatever they want to do and have a little bit left over from whatever I was able to do to kind of live out some of the dreams that they've had. And that's kind of falling into the dreams for my family, is that it's not only helping them, but also the younger generations who don't know about this stuff, that I'm going to be able to empower them. And then hopefully that'll flow into the community where they'll be able to give back to the community and explain to friends or others, you know, all the things that they've had a chance to learn and grow from.
Awesome. Thank you, Veronica. Anyone else who has maybe a quick one, since you all went quickly?
I can add. I don't know if anyone else wants to go.
Sorry.
Oh, you can go, because I already spoke.
Sorry, you can go.
Oh, okay, thank you. I was just gonna say that it's funny because I actually came out to Colorado to go to school, to go to the film school, and you know, writing and storytelling is really my passion. But I think you mentioned it. You talked about how we have to work 3 times as hard, and there's these discrepancies between, you know, like resources and access. And so that's kind of what shifted me to finance. But you know, my dream for myself is to write, film, write, TV shows, and it's nice seeing like other, especially Black people, now kind of really come out. And I think of like Issa Rae, who they didn't give her an opportunity in the industry, and so she said, I'm going to make my own YouTube series, and then now she is the creator and producer and writer of an actor of like an award-winning HBO show. So just kind of taking that creativity, and even if I have to navigate these complicated pathways to get to where I want to be, so that way it can be easier for people who are doing the same thing or people after me. That's my goal.
Huge. So all those things being really huge, and what I really I'm a little disappointed, and again, I know that you all can kind of follow this process, but what we might do next inside of this is then we would take maybe we'd take just a couple of examples from there and really begin to work through them, right? And talk about what are the pathways that are right here at your fingertips, people that are doing the work beyond those that are right here on this call. We would question you a little bit and start to tease out how those dreams, other things that we may need to know or information that we might need to know in order to really have you start to create a map. And we can, if you have even more time, you can start to like literally create and pull out and create a map as to how you will get there. And then what are going to be the resources, the people, the family members, the block captain person, right? Whether it's like in a formal or an informal role that lives down the street from you, that's already been in home ownership and already maybe made a film, right? I actually know some people in Park Hill, Kareem, I'd love for you to talk to. And there's something there's something like that in for everybody in their situations. And so that's kind of the process that we would go through, and we're really basing it, and we're then grounding it in what your dreams are and what you want to do, rather than it being something like an information piece that we're bringing to you and an expertise, because the expertise exists in the community. The expertise exists in each and every one of you, right? And in each and every one of the people, even those gang members have dreams, right? Even those that are in some way doing this or doing that, and that are sometimes called the problems most often, right? Not saying that there's not some, people that really are just kind of, quote unquote bad, but very rarely, usually that's a call for help in some way, manner, shape, or form, right? And wishing that they had a connection to other people and maybe not feeling like they have another way out, right? And so we can start to create those pathways and help to establish many of those relationships, then we're able to kind of tease that out. With that being said, and I know we have about 4 minutes and need to talk about some next steps, Joanne, I'd love for if there's anything you or Simone have to add there inside of what this process might look like typically.
I think I'd add briefly this: if everyone keeps in mind the dreams that you've written down for yourself today, then through each, not just the 5 sessions that we're going to do, but through all of the sessions that follow, that's going to be a key. It's going to be a touchstone for everything that you look at and everything you do. And then think next about the folks that you talk to and that you work with and their dreams, and how that can lead through as well.
Absolutely. And then you will also see us kind of capturing some things as people share in the chat. If any of those are ever not accurate, they're not saying what you are wanting to say, or there's something that you want to add to them, please feel free to do so. It's just a way to kind of capture your voices as we're moving through this. And so also wanted to say that your voices are truly important and we don't want to misrepresent them ever. So we're going to have to wait on this, but we have some models and some different ways to institute from like a family or a community group perspective. So things that we might be able to do right now. And by the end of this training institute, we hope that we have some of these things that we're either doing and or working towards that are some of the bigger lifts right here in Park Hill. And so not just talking about it and whatever, but actually being about it. And did want to name, it looks like we ended up having a really good turnout. At the same time, you know, there is this conversation, and I'll kind of leave this up to Daniel to have that, but I did talk with the Pirates organization. They have practices on Wednesday evenings, and so many of the parents were very interested. Some of the older youth, some of the coaches are interested, even some of the board members, in being a part of this process, since they touch so many people throughout our community, but can't do it at this time, and being a Wednesday. And then there's also people in the faith-based communities that this becomes a challenge for as well. So again, something I know everybody has kind of set out their schedule, but we wanted to at least name that now. And possibly the very good possibility is that even people from that organization and faith-based will be able to make it. And so again, we'll kind of leave that with Daniel. And then over the next 4 weeks, we'll actually start session 2 with that, just to also be able to respect time. And Simone will go over that. Daniel, or if you wanted to, I'm trying to, Danny, maybe if you wanted to join the first part, you could talk about the third module from your perspective, just so you all kind of know what's coming up and have it in words from those that will be bringing the information to you, each module being really critically important. And the last thing is, maybe you find 2 to 3 trusted friends or family members, and try this activity. Like, have them, you know, go through those questions. You share with them what yours are, what your dreams are for yourself, your family, and your community. Have them do the same thing, and then start to think about how you might, you know, begin to map out and bring back some questions for us, or some feedback on what that process felt like, what it, you know, any challenges that you've found as you went through it, or any other piece of information that would be valuable, and just kind of see what happens when you use this really simple tool that can open up worlds of connection and pathway creation. So with that being said, anything that you would like to add, Joanne, to the closing, or Simone, or Daniel, if there's anything you have?
On my end, I can give you a quick higher review of what I'll be presenting on in Module 3. And it's just a high overview of what I would be presenting, if you guys want to take a quick ear. One of them is going to be income, expense, and reporting, so balance sheet and income statement. 2 is going to be accounts payable versus accounts receivable. 3 is going to be cash flow versus profits. 4 is going to be depreciation and inventory, basically depreciating your assets. 5 is going to be capitalization and outside sources of cash or additional capital. And then 6, we're still working on the refinements of this, but it's going to be possibly insurance, workers' comp, and bonding. So, you know, it's going to be a lot of information. You know, I'm trying to make it more interactive as possible, but, you know, some of that stuff is just raw material. It is what it is. It's accounts receivable, it's accounts payable. There's nothing fancy about it. It's kind of like the numbers. So we'll see you in Module 3.
That's awesome. Thank you, Danny, so much. One thing that you said there, insurance, I know that a figure that I found in doing research and talking with George Fraser, who will probably do some introduction of at some point as well, 96% of, or not 96, but it's like 68% of white wealth in America is transferred through insurance. So, so I think that's going to be a really interesting conversation, and those numbers important. But thank you all so much for your time today. Wanting to respect your time. We're a couple of minutes over, but we really look forward to seeing you in Module 2. We'll have a couple of other facilitators, and many of our introductions can be a little bit shorter. And thank you all so much for being here.
Good job, Benzel.
Thank you, Benzel. Thank
See
you,
you guys.
Joanne.
Thank you.
Simone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We didn't, Danny, we didn't take a picture. Just kidding.
I did.
Oh, did you? You got one? I knew you'd be taking those pictures. All right, buddy. Take care, my man. See you guys. Be good.
Bye.